President Obama met with governors to talk about the fiscal cliff's impact on their states earlier today. Republican Governor Gary Herbert of Utah was in that meeting, and he joins us now. Governor, thank you so much for joining us. And, of course, what I want to know immediately, what was the president's message to you, the governors?
Well, he said he wanted to work with us as states, and again, we appreciated the fact that we were invited. States and governors have been kind of ignored in the past. In fact, states have been kind of an afterthought in many of the policy discussions here in Washington, and we have something to say. We can help them make better policy, and he invited that dialogue and that discussion and promised we'd have further opportunity to meet with him.
And I saw that statement that the states say they are willing to help. Well, what exactly can you do for this process to get it moving along?
Well, one of the things, we understand that the federal government is spending too much money. They're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar that they spend. We can help them by taking less as states. All we've asked in return is we'll take less, but take away the strings, give us more flexibility. And if we can do that, we can do more with less, help the federal government balance their budget while we're providing the desired services to our customers.
But the bottom line, Governor, obviously it comes down to Democrats want to raise taxes on the richest Americans, while Republicans say, you know what, we can raise revenue by eliminating deductions. Which is the best path forward, in your opinion?
Well, raising taxes, in my view, is the last thing you would want to do. Clearly, as you raise revenue, you can do it a couple of ways, by closing loopholes, which is certainly one of the proposals on the table, and I think people acknowledge that maybe is one that's a compromise point. Raising tax rates is a little bit of a bone of contention, but growing the economy really is how you provide additional revenues to pay the bills. So that ought to be a part of the equation too. And I think both sides know that there's got to be some spending cuts, and also that means entitlements. We've talked in terms of what we can do with Medicaid reform and some things we can do with entitlements, where we, the states, can do more with less and help them with some of their entitlement reform. So raising revenue and cutting spending, clearly that's the two issues on the table, and I'm hopeful that the President, the executive branch, and the Congress can come together.
I mean, is there something going on in private that gives you more hope right now that there's something will get done before we go over the cliff? I mean, what's your sense? You've met with the President. I believe you're going to be meeting with Speaker Boehner later on this afternoon. What's your sense now?
Well, I'm anxious to hear what Speaker Boehner and Majority Leader Reid have to say to us also, and to see what the Congress's side of the issue is. But I believe the pressures will come to be that they've got to find a solution. I'm here to tell you, failure is not an option. Speaking for my own state, and I think other states are similar, if we go over the fiscal cliff, it's going to have significant ramifications, particularly the economy. I'm in a state that's actually has a healthy growth going on economically right now, and we'll have surplus money, growth money, coming in to help us balance the budget in this upcoming fiscal year.
Right.
But if they go over the fiscal cliff, we will lose money. We'll actually have to cut programs. That's just not acceptable. I believe good people can come together and find compromise. Compromise is not a dirty word. It ought to happen. And as governors, we ought to help them get it to happen.
All right. Well, the best of luck. Get that message out there, Governor Gary Herbert of Utah. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you.